Hey there guys, I am the Six Machine and welcome back to another Warhammer video. So this Saturday, the 23rd of January, we have the next Warhammer preview. It looks to be quite a hefty showing with previews for 40k, Age of Sigmar, Kill Team, Underworlds, and a new and exciting secret surprise game, which I am rather excited for. But, what this video is about is a short little tidbit about Titanicus. In particular, this picture. So I think we can all agree there's some kind of new Titan coming, and I have to say, I am hyped. I don't play Titanicus yet, but I've always wanted to have my own Maniple, and ever since the days of like Epic 40k, back when like I started playing in second edition, I loved that image of the Epic 40k box where there was the Imperator Titan against the Orc Mega Gargant. Like that just drew me in like instantly. And I've always loved, Reaver Titans and Warlord Titans and Knight Households. That just whole kind of scale of battle always appealed to me. And now I admit, and I'm sure some of you did the same, I saw this picture and my mind immediately went to, no way. Is this going to be the Titanicus Imperator? Is GW going to do an Imperator Titan in Titanicus? Oh god, please, 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 please. But, as much as I would love to see it, absolutely love to see an Imperator in Titanicus, I think that if it is ever coming, and I do hope it does, but I do think that if it is ever coming, we are going to have to wait just a little bit longer. There's a few things which have cropped up on various sites and on Twitter and such like, which have unfortunately made me realize that the dreams of having an Emperor class Titan are likely not going to be realized at this weekender. The Emperor class Titans always have had those steps and like doorways and windows, which presumably are where the tech priests and the people that ran the Titan would enter it. Clearly this new Titan doesn't have those parts in its feet and leg kind of joints. And with some of the other sort of teaser images that I presume are going to end up being parts of this Titan that they've like previewed for us, if you look at one bit which looks like it is sort of the shoulder panels for the Titan, it doesn't look like it has the spires and the towers which we tend to associate with an Imperator and that really make that silhouette for the Imperator. And I feel like even if they were going to redesign the Imperator, they would keep that in some capacity. This looks a lot more, I want to say Warlord-esque, but I will get on to later as to some variations that it does have with the Warlord, but it certainly doesn't look like how I would expect them to be doing a Imperator Titan's kind of shoulder panels and armor. Now, yes, I know a lot of the Titan's styles and designs changed as Titanicus came out, and the old look of the old 40k Reavers and Warhounds and Warlords are vastly different to how they used to be in Titanicus and in the new artwork. The panels and the armor carapace definitely look different, but I just feel like that foot doesn't quite match up with, in my mind, how they would do an Imperator if they were to do one. So as much as I would love it to be, I don't want to get my hopes up and think that it is definitely going to be one. It would be an amazing surprise if it was, but I don't want to get my hopes up because realistically, I just don't think it is going to be. So if it's not an Imperator, what could it be? Well, there's a piece of artwork which has been going around, which I believe is an original drawing by Jez Goodwin, which is the initial designs for the old Warlord class Titan. And if you look at the picture, which is up on the screen now, you may notice a couple of things. Firstly, there's a gun in the knee area, which is definitely looking like something that they would have taken as inspiration and updated to include in this design. And secondly, is that kind of trio of like carapace section, which leads down from like the stomach of the Titan down where like the banners are on the knights. And if you look at the preview image, you can see the last section of that just by the knee joint. So does this mean it's going to be a new Warlord variant? Well, again, it's a possibility, but I think there are a few things that make me a bit iffy on this as well. I mean, if you compare the preview picture to an actual Warlord, the leg just looks different. It's not just a slight variation on the same pattern, it's got a whole new gun in the shin, obviously, and the front panel that the gun is in is a completely different shape and design. And if we look at some of the other possible preview teased images that we've had that presumably show parts of this new Titan, we can clearly see the layered carapace piece and what appears to be some shoulder armor panels with that slightly small sort of gun on them rather than the big carapace weapons that we know Warlord Titans tend to have. And the armor panel itself, it just seems slightly different. There's some different placed grooves, and it's just got a overall slightly different design to the current Warlord Titan. So what do I think? Personally, I'm going to throw my shot out there and say we'll be looking at a new Titan class completely. Possibly one based on the Warlord very, very loosely, due to the fact that it does appear to be taking some inspiration from that original Jez Goodwin picture, but one that certainly appears to be possibly a little bit larger than a standard warlord. Maybe this will be some kind of intermediate class that will bridge that gap between a warlord and an imperator. And I think that would be really cool. Games Workshop have in the past, I believe at an open day, said they weren't sure if they were going to do an imperator because the size of it, even on this scale, the Titanicus scale, just an imperator would be too big to do properly, which, I mean, I don't quite agree with anyway, but I think this would be nice for them to do a bigger Titan than a Warlord, introduce some new fluff and new lore to Titanicus, because let's be honest, the introduction of the, what's the one with the gun on the top, is it the Nemesis, the Warbringer? That was a new Titan class. I think it had been mentioned in the fluff, but I'd certainly never seen any artwork or pictures of it before, so that's kind of something new that they introduced to Titanicus. And I love the fact that they are expanding Titanicus. I still do wish that they would include things like Eldar Titan and Orc Gargants, but maybe that's a discussion for another video. On the topic of the Imperator itself, the Warlord at the moment, the Warlord Titan is slightly smaller than a regular Knight. And I know that in some of the artwork, like an Imperator is like over twice as big as a Warlord, but I never thought that was really the case. In my mind, the Warlord always sort of came up to sort of where the head of the Imperator was, and it was mainly just the church spires that gave the Imperator that extra height. So in my opinion, if they were going to do an Imperator Titan or any of the Emperor class Titans in Titanicus, I would have thought, you know, yes, it would need to be bigger than sort of like a Castellan class Knight, but I think the Wraith Knight is like where I would put it size-wise. You know, maybe a little tiny bit bigger than a Wraith Knight, but not that much bigger. I feel like they could do an Imperator justice by making it that size, and I don't think that's too far out of the scale for Titanicus. I really don't, and I think that would be an amazing thing to add to the game. But I just wanted to do a quick video talking about this picture in particular because it really got me excited. Like, when I first saw it, my mind just immediately went to Imperator, and I just, even though, as I said, I don't play Titanicus or have a Titan Maniple, I got so excited at the thought of seeing an updated, redesigned Imperator, just like I did when I saw the Titanicus Warlord and Reaver and Warhound. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this preview image. What class or type of Titan you think that it might be? Will it be a completely new revised design of the Imperator? Or will it be just a Warlord variant? Or will it be something sort of in the middle of both? And I'd love to know your thoughts on whether we will ever see an Imperator in Titanicus. As I said, I personally would love to, but do you think it is a bit too far out of the scale, or would you like to see one day? And how would you like to see it designed? Would you like to see the classic kind of church spire design kept to, or do you think they should update it and change it to look sleeker like the current Titans in Titanicus appear to be? Let me know what you think this new Titan is, what you're hoping for it rules wise, and whether you are going to be getting one in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe for more Warhammer videos from me. Until next time though, I will catch you later, guys.